Miraculous 40-day divine energy manifestation for Lightworkers. Prophetic upgrades revealed. The church bells tolled with a rhythm that echoed through the quaint village of Wellspring, a village untouched by time, where each Sunday was a sacred tapestry woven together by prayers and hopeful hearts. Inside the old stone church, as the congregation gathered, the air sparkled with an electric anticipation. That day, the spirit was alive, stirring every soul with its vibrant energy. As Pastor Thomas began the service, the atmosphere was thick with expectation. The prayers grew louder, pulsating like a heartbeat, and amidst the fervor, Sarah felt the first flicker of profound awakening. Visions danced before her eyes, figures cloaked in radiant light, shimmering wings of angels, and the commanding presence of Saint Michael himself. The archangel, often her silent protector, whispered to her heart, igniting an insatiable thirst for spiritual truth. In a moment that felt like eternity, a prophetic word washed over her. The promise of a 40-day journey to manifest divine energy filled her with an unshakable hope. "You will light the way for others," echoed from the depths of her spirit, urging Sarah to embrace her new calling. Fueled by divine purpose, she embarked on her ambitious journey, each day dedicated to prayer, scripture, and connecting with Saint Michael. The world around her began to shimmer with possibility, and soon, miraculous events punctuated her path. A neighbor, once burdened by illness, stood whole and restored after Sarah's fervent prayers. The flowers in her garden bloomed brilliantly, bursting with color, as if touched by supernatural hands. She felt the presence of light within every moment, every heartbeat, as if heaven itself smiled upon her. But as her faith flourished, so did the strains within her home. James, her pragmatic husband, watched with skeptical eyes, his rational mind struggling to comprehend her transformation. "It's just coincidence, Sarah," he would say, his brow furrowing in disbelief, creating a rift that darkened their once harmonious life. Tension filled their home like an unwelcome shadow as doubts blossomed alongside Sarah's newfound zeal. One fateful evening, their young daughter, Lily, fell gravely ill, rousing a tempest of anxiety and desperation. Heart racing, Sarah sought every conventional remedy, trekking from doctor to doctor but finding hollow assurances and tepid hopes. The weight on her heart grew heavier, a painful dichotomy where her faith battled against the fear of losing her child. In the stillness of night, as uncertainty loomed, a sacred community prayer service unfolded at the church. Families gathered, united in belief, their hearts beating as one. As prayers soared, an unexpected miracle swept through the room. Lily stood before the altar, eyes sparkling like twilight stars, her laughter a symphony of joy. Whispers of awe and admiration rippled through the congregation. "It's a miracle," they declared, breathless with reverence as faith flickered like lanterns in the dark, illuminating a path ahead. Doubts trembled, but the friction remained. "Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As Sarah stood in the glow of her community, she felt a surge of divine energy, a promise that her faith could indeed bring about healing, not just for Lily, but for the very fabric of her family. Yet, with each miracle came new questions. Would her family find the strength to reconcile their differences? What purpose awaited her outside the shadows of doubt? In the gentle embrace of hope, Sarah found herself at a crossroads, contemplating whether her unwavering faith could illuminate their darkest moments. With every heartbeat, the mystery deepened, and as dawn broke, the question lingered. What lay ahead on this sacred journey? The morning sun seeped through the church windows, casting a tapestry of light upon Sarah's face. As she sat quietly, her heart still dancing with the joy of Lily's miracle, the weight of the unanswered questions wrapped around her like a heavy cloak. The congregation buzzed with excitement, sharing stories of good fortune and miraculous occurrences. Yet Sarah's mind lingered on James, who sat at the back, arms crossed, his expression a complicated mask of worry and confusion. After the service, as the congregation dissipated, Sarah approached her husband, her heart racing. Hope filled her soul, yet the sting of doubt remained in his eyes. "James, I know this is all new and strange to you," she began, her voice gentle yet firm. "But can't you feel the power of our community? God is working here. He brought Lily back to us." James sighed, the lines etched on his brow deepening. "But how do we explain the illness without attributing it solely to divine intervention? What if this is all just coincidence?" His words hung in the air like a fog, thickening the atmosphere around them. Sarah longed to shake him free from his doubts, but she knew conflict would only fan the flames between them. Determined, she enlisted the support of the other church members. They gathered under the oak tree, its branches swaying gently as the wind whispered secrets of the divine. Together, they prayed for healing, not just for Lily, but for the strained bonds within Sarah's family. As they prayed, a palpable energy pulsed around them, an ethereal warmth that wove through their voices and connected their hearts. Days passed, and what began as a quiet gathering became a sacred ritual, a circle of hands held around the tree, each soul nourishing the other with prayer and hope. The more Sarah shared potent testimonies of faith, the more James felt the gentle pull of curiosity, a spark igniting within him. Perhaps there was more to this than mere coincidence. Yet challenges persisted. Unresolved fears loomed over their household. Late at night, while Sarah meditated in the still candlelight, shadows flickered along the walls, echoing the battles within her heart. Could her faith truly mend the fracture that had grown between them? Could she find a way to show James the beauty of the Spirit's movement? One night, after yet another powerful prayer meeting, Sarah felt a deep urgency to speak to her husband. She was ready to share her revelation, her heart brimming with the divine truth that had been slowly unveiled to her. "James," she called softly, her soul trembling with hope. "Can we talk? I think God is showing us something important." He looked up from the newspaper he'd been pretending to read, and she caught a glimmer of vulnerability in his gaze. "All right, Sarah, what is it?" As she opened her heart and poured forth her divine experiences, the light, the love, the transformation, she felt the warmth of the Spirit surround them. With every word, she prayed that it would penetrate the walls of doubt that held him captive. She spoke of journeying beyond fear, of embracing faith as they had embraced Lily's laughter. The curiosity shone brighter in his eyes as he leaned in, eager to understand. But just as the atmosphere shifted, an unexpected sound interrupted a clatter in the kitchen. Frightened, they rushed toward the noise, only to find little Lily standing with her hands raised, and a flickering light dancing around her. A manifestation of wonder and divine energy illuminated the space, cocooning them in an embrace of heavenly love. As the three of them stood together, Sarah felt the ancient whispers of connection echo through their spirits, illuminating the path ahead. The question loomed larger than ever. Could this divine interruption be a sign of their family's reconciliation, a prelude to healing? With every heartbeat, the mystery unfolded, captivating her heart. What miraculous journey awaited them next? Would they answer the call together, united in faith? In the soft glow of that flickering light, time felt suspended, a divine moment etched forever in Sarah's memory. Lily's face was radiant, glowing with an innocence that transcended age. The light danced playfully around her, casting mesmerizing patterns on their walls, as if the very spirit of joy was painting hope anew in their home. "Mommy, look!" Lily exclaimed, her eyes wide with wonder. "The angels are here." A shiver of recognition coursed through Sarah. Could it be? Had her prayers summoned not just peace, but the very presence of heavenly beings? James hovered nearby, his arms still crossed, yet a flicker of awe sparked behind his guarded expression. "Angels?" he whispered, his voice trembling slightly. "Yes." Lily beamed, her innocence untainted by adult skepticism. "They're dancing." Laughter bubbled from beneath Sarah's lips, filling the kitchen with warmth. The doubts that had clouded James' heart began to dissipate like morning fog before the rising sun. "Maybe we really are witnessing something miraculous," he murmured, eyes fixed on their daughter. In that enchanting moment, Sarah sensed her fears lifting, replaced by a burgeoning sense of unity. Together, they were standing on the threshold of something extraordinary. "James, this is it. This is what we've been yearning for," she urged, her voice brimming with hope. "The light is here to guide us. God is revealing his presence." As Lily twirled around, the kitchen transformed into a sanctuary, the flickering light creating paths of warmth and safety. Each step Lily took left behind a faint glimmer of brilliance, as if heavenly footprints marked her joy. But Sarah knew the path wasn't just for their daughter. It was one they were all meant to follow. Yet, just as the peace settled into their hearts, a wave of uncertainty washed over James. "What does this mean for us?" he asked, the questions tinged with the weight of his fears. "How do we reconcile what we believe with this miracle?" A heartbeat passed, heavy with the gravity of unanswered questions lingering in the air. Sarah stepped closer, allowing her own heart to spill over with fervent faith. Sometimes God asks us to take leaps into the unknown. Perhaps this dance of light is calling us to discover deeper truths about ourselves, about him. Suddenly, the flickering light surged, bursting into a kaleidoscope of colors, illuminating their faces in brilliant shades of gold and silver. It was as if the very heavens had aligned, ready to unveil a hidden prophecy. All doubts and fears faded as a sacred hush enveloped them, leaving only their shared breath, quick and alive with possibility. In that breathless moment, Sarah dared to imagine a vision of a journey through deeper realms of connection, the profound legacy that could be woven from their faith, together, as a family bound by love and divine light. Would they be brave enough to embrace the unknown, to trust in the unfolding of something greater than themselves? Just then, amidst the brilliance, a flicker danced toward James. It paused, beckoning him forward with an allure that felt both thrilling and terrifying. Sarah watched, heart pounding. Would he step into the light? As she held her breath, waiting for his response, she remembered the whispered prayer of hope she had shared with the congregation. "May we find the courage to seek and the faith to believe." What would the light reveal to them both? She wondered, and what depths of divine mystery awaited them just beyond this moment. The warmth tinged with expectancy was palpable, stirring their spirits for what was to come next. The flicker swayed once, then twice, like a delicate invitation. James's breath caught in his throat as the shimmering light pulsed softly, calling him to engage with the extraordinary. Lily giggled, her innocent joy piercing through the heavy atmosphere. Sarah stepped closer, her heart fluttering with a mix of hope and trepidation. Would he take the step that could alter everything? "James," she said softly, her voice threaded with encouragement, "it's not just a light, it's a promise." His eyes remained locked on the flickering glow. It felt alive, as if it were whispering secrets meant only for him. The warmth began to seep into his consciousness, unraveling the threads of doubt that had long held him captive. "Maybe this is our moment to embrace what we've only talked about," Sarah urged, emboldening him. "The answers we seek are in that light." He hesitated, the weight of uncertainty stark against the beckoning brightness. A surge of fear tussled within him, fighting to pull him back to the comforting yet confining shadows of disbelief. Yet, in that divine moment, a greater urge stirred, a yearning to step forward, to explore the unfathomable. Taking a deep breath, James pushed past his fears, stepping closer to the divine illumination. It felt almost tangible, this light, a gentle caress that wrapped around him with an embrace of warmth and love. He could feel it reaching into his soul, tilling the soil of his heart for seeds of faith to grow. As he finally stepped into the light, a rush of clarity flooded his being. "I'm not afraid anymore," he declared, voice resonating with newfound conviction. In that instant, the colors danced around him, illuminating every corner of his heart with radiant love. A tear slipped down his cheek as he turned to face Sarah and Lily, their faces glowing with approval. "This is where we belong," he breathed, a sense of belonging settling in deeper than he had ever known. An indescribable presence swirled in the air, a sacred energy that brushed against their skin and filled their hearts with an inkling of divine truth. The three of them stood encircled by this celestial embrace, a family wrapped together beneath a canopy of unconditional love and hope. "What now?" James asked, surrendering to the moment. He felt a peace that surpassed understanding, a divine assurance that everything was unfolding perfectly. Sarah smiled, her heart brimming. "Now we trust. We follow this light wherever it leads us." Together, as they joined hands, a new wave of energy pulsed around them, a promise of revelation yet to come. Would this divine illumination guide them through their fears and anxieties? In the following stillness, they could hear the echoes of voices humming softly, a choir of angels celebrating their moment of faith. Just then, for a fleeting instant, the world outside their kitchen melted away, and they glimpsed glimpses of vast landscapes painted with splendor, realms of joy and healing woven together by threads of faith. As Sarah closed her eyes, the image lingered, a calling to step deeper into the adventurous unknown. The sacred journey had only just begun, the message whispering through the night air. Prepare your hearts for the miracles that are coming. What treasures lay hidden in those distant realms of the spirit? What lessons and blessings awaited them around the corner? One thing was certain: their lives would never be the same again. As the warmth of the light enveloped them, an exhilarating energy thrummed in the air. Felt as if time stood still. James, Sarah, and Lily stood hand in hand, unified in purpose and faith. The flickering light before them intensified, casting vibrant hues that danced like flames, lapping eagerly at the edges of their hearts. "Can you feel that?" Lily whispered, eyes wide with wonder. The innocence in her voice stirred something deep within James. He turned to her, and he saw the light reflected back in her gaze, a confirmation of their shared moment. It's like a song, I senti it," he replied, understanding now that the hum of sacred sounds wrapped around them was a melody of divine love, an invitation to sing along. Sarah nodded, her eyes fixed on the pulsing light. "We've taken the first step. Now let us open our hearts much wider." As they stood there, hearts wide open, an unexpected breeze whispered through the room, rustling the curtains. It felt alive, brushing against their skin like a gentle hand, setting their spirits aflame. Confidence washed over them, brightening their faces in the glow of the divine. "Remember," Sarah's voice rippled through the heaviness, "every moment of doubt can transform into a stepping stone for faith." Her words hung in the air, heavy with assurance. James glanced around, noting the flickers of shadows flickering in time with the light, shaping into silhouettes of figures whom he recognized, faces from his past. Friends and family who had believed and supported his journey of faith. "They're with us, aren't they?" he murmured, gripping Sarah's hand tighter. "Always," she whispered, her smile a beacon of hope. Suddenly, the radiant light shimmered and shifted, unveiling a breathtaking panorama. Vistas of rolling meadows, majestic mountains, and vibrant forests sprawled before them, bathed in radiant sunlight. The vivid beauty transcended their current confines, teasing their imaginations with living possibilities. "It feels as if the earth rejoices in response to this moment," James breathed, a tear barely holding its place on his cheek as awe flooded him. "What do you think we must do now?" he asked, knowing that they had not simply stepped into the light. They had been invited on an adventure laden with significance. The light pulsated gently, reverberating love all around. Sarah chuckled softly. "We follow the light, wherever it leads. It knows the way." With a shared nod, the trio took a collective step forward. The landscapes ahead shimmered with whispers of promise. As they traversed through the sight, enchanting scents of blooming flowers and fresh earth wafted into their senses. This was a world bursting with potential, a realm waiting for healing, for connection, for transformation. In that sacred moment of exploration, they felt the light reach deep inside them, igniting a deeper curiosity, a fresher understanding. What if every step could reveal something new? Lily's voice sparkled with anticipation as she skipped playfully ahead. James turned to Sarah, a sense of urgency filling him. We can be the light, can't we? Others will see it and be drawn to him. Yes, she affirmed, eyes glinting with excitement. If we let this light guide us, we can share it with others too. We become vessels of this divine love. But just then, a single thought rooted itself in the air, heavy and intimidating yet seductive. What if fear lurks in waiting, hoping to snuff out the light? As if answering, the light flickered uncertainly for a moment. They paused, questioning the journey ahead. Would they remain steady against darkness? Would they embrace the full measure of the challenge? The realization dawned upon them: this journey would demand everything. Faith would be the fuel, love the compass. Together, they pressed onward, hearts beating in harmony. They were ready to challenge fear, ready to explore the depths of these miraculous realms. What awaited them in the tapestry of the unseen? What miracles lay in wait for the ones willing to step bravely into the unknown? As the stirring winds beckoned, the light flickered once again. Their adventure was birthing itself into reality. An overwhelming sense of joy pulsated through the vibrant landscapes that lay before James, Sarah, and Lily. The meadow stretched endlessly, flaunting a riot of colors, with blossoms in shades of lavender, crimson, and gold. Each petal seemed to sing praises, exuding fragrance that enlivened the air and stirred a deep longing within their souls. "What's next for us here?" Lily asked, her playful spirit glowing brighter than ever. The curiosity sparkled in her eyes as if she held a piece of the mystery within her tiny frame. James knelt to touch the ground beneath him. It felt warm, almost alive, reverberating with energy that connected him to something far grander than himself. "I think we're meant to discover," he hesitated, wordlessly grasping for the breadth of understanding swirling around him. "The miracles," Sarah finished, stepping closer to the light that continued to dance around them. "They're hidden in our willingness to explore and believe." We've felt the light. Now let us immerse ourselves in its revelations. As the breeze caressed their faces once more, James sensed an external energy merging with their inner spark, an invitation to something greater. "What do we have to do? Do we speak? Do we sing?" he mused. "Maybe it's about listening first." Sarah's soft reply floated in the air, wrapping around them like a warm embrace. "The light is calling us to silence and surrender." In this moment of shared understanding, they closed their eyes. As stillness enveloped them, the world transformed around them. The sounds of rustling leaves and distant laughter began to harmonize, crafting a sacred song that resonated deeply with their spirits. James felt the burdens that earlier weighed him down dissolve, unraveling into the magnificent melody. Then, suddenly, in the midst of this profound silence, a voice broke through, gentle and soothing. "Welcome, dear ones. You have arrived at the threshold of transformations." They opened their eyes in unison, finding themselves surrounded by silhouettes shimmering like ethereal beings. Each presence radiated light that pulsed in rhythm with their hearts. It was as if the very essence of love stood before them, tangible and luminous. "Who are you?" Lily asked, her voice infiltrated by both fear and wonder. One of the figures stepped forward, a kind smile gracing their features. "We are the guardians of this realm, the keepers of the light. We've watched over you through your journey, guiding you toward this moment. You've chosen to walk the path of love, and that is powerful." James felt warmth creep into his chest, a rush of belonging flooding through him. "What must we do to fulfill our purpose?" The guardian met his gaze, and he was enveloped in a sea of compassion. "Trust in your hearts. Each moment will unfold precisely as it's meant to. Your faith will create the miracles you seek." "I want to heal others," James declared, resolution blooming within him. "I want to share this light." Another guardian gestured towards the lush landscape, its hues brightening in response. "Then start by sharing your authenticity. Let your souls be guides, for it is through your honesty that others will recognize their own light within." Exhilarated, James and Sarah exchanged glances, each reflecting enthusiasm. They were ready to embrace this gift, knowing they had each other on this sacred journey. "Can we really spread this love?" Lily asked, now returning to their side, her brows furrowed with earnestness. Indeed, the guardians affirmed, their voices entwining like a chorus. But be mindful, the darkness will try to ripple against your light. The world needs you now more than ever to rise against it, armed with compassion and faith. The reality of their task settled in the weight of their calling, both exhilarating and daunting. Did they truly possess what it takes to face such shadows? Yet the light around them pulsed with reassurance, making the daunting seem attainable. With hope and determination ignited in their hearts, they nodded, voices rising in unity. Let us go forth and shine. As they prepared to journey deeper into this enchanted realm, the light flickered, momentarily dimming, leaving them with an echoing question. What darkness awaited them beyond the dawn of their purpose? Their adventure was only just beginning. As their voices lingered in the air, a shimmering path unfurled before them, beckoning with a gentle glow. It seemed to pulse with the heartbeat of the earth, guiding them toward an unknown yet cherished destination. Each step they took felt significant, as if they were walking in the footprints of dreams that had been laid out before time began. I can feel something, Sarah whispered, her eyes wide, full of wonder. The essence of the meadow wrapped around her like a blessing, whispering secrets she had not yet learned to comprehend. James felt her energy. It's the anticipation of discovery, he said, heart racing. They were moving toward the unveiling of wonders beyond their current understanding. Lily ran ahead, twirling with uninhibited glee. Do you think we'll meet more guardians? Or see more miracles? Her excitement was infectious, lighting up their spirits even further. James smiled, caught up in the beauty of her innocence. Whatever we find, I know it will be perfect for us. The air thickened, fragrant with anticipation, and soon they arrived at a clearing where the sunlight cascaded like liquid gold upon the ground. Here the landscape transformed, revealing towering trees adorned with crystals that shimmered as though they held galaxies within them. The guardians had spoken of miracles, but this blossoming beauty was beyond what they could have imagined. Look, Lily pointed, her voice breaking the sacred silence. In the heart of the clearing stood a fountain, but not just any fountain. Water flowed in vibrant colors, swirling with iridescent blues, greens, and soft purples. It sparkled under the sunlight, creating rainbows that danced in the air. Ah, there's magic in that water, Sarah exclaimed. As she stepped closer, the rippling flow whispered promises of renewal and deeper understanding. James followed her gaze, heart swelling in reverence. Can you hear it? Sarah asked, her expression as if she had been transported to another realm. Sounds like laughter or maybe singing. James paused, closing his eyes to listen more intently. It was true, the water sang a melody that intertwined with the heartbeat of the earth. Each note unfurled layers of peace, healing, and love within him. I think this is a place of blessings, he murmured. Perhaps if we drink from it we will understand more. Lily clapped her hands, bursting with excitement. Let us do it. Let us drink. Without hesitation, she stepped forth and cupped her hands in the vibrant fountain, lifting the mixture of colors to her lips. As she drank, the colors shimmered around her, enveloping her in a soft light. Her laughter rang like chimes in the breeze as she exclaimed, "It's amazing, like tasting the sky." Sarah joined her, scooping some of the water into her hands, and James followed suit. They each took a sip, and in that moment, an overwhelming wave of divine presence surged through them. The waters infused them with a clarity they had never known. Visions bloomed in their minds, each miracle and each act of love they held within. Oh, the light, James breathed, experiencing an awakening within his spirit. I can feel it, it's like a warm fire of hope. As they stood together, hearts wide open, the guardians began to materialize around them once more, radiating love and joy. You are being transformed, one guardian spoke softly. The water signifies the blessings that will continue flowing through your lives. You will see and hear this light in others. Your journey will ripple beyond what you can control. Acceptance will be your greatest tool. The three friends exchanged looks of determination and wonder. They could feel the weight of their calling settling into their very bones. But just as joy began to saturate them fully, the energy shifted. The sunlight dimmed slightly, and shadows crept from the edges of the clearing, whispering warnings of fears and doubts. "What's happening?" Lily whispered, stepping closer to her friends, her small hand clasped tightly in theirs. James felt a shiver run through him. "I think we may be on the brink of our first challenge," and as darkness lurked, questions danced in the air. Would they be brave enough to confront it? What challenges awaited them on the path of light and love? Their journey was unfolding, and the whispers of the unknown grew louder still. The air around them crackled with a new tension as the shadows deepened, stretching toward them like dark fingers aiming to snatch away the warmth of the light from the fountain. James, Sarah, and Lily huddled together, drawing strength from one another as they sensed the weight of something formidable. "Stay close," James urged, his voice steady, though his heart raced. Each heartbeat echoed the message of courage they had only just begun to grasp. To confront the unknown was not just a test, it was part of their awakening. As the guardians watched over them, their faces a mix of concern and hope, one stepped forward. Fear often accompanies transformation. It spoke, voice soothing yet powerful. "But you have already tasted the blessings of the water. Remember, light exists within you." Lily, always full of wonder, looked up at the guardian. "What if the shadows try to take our light?" The innocence in her question hung in the air, heavy yet tinged with her undeniable faith. "The shadows can only reflect what they are given," replied another guardian, her presence radiant. "Your love and belief will dim the darkness. You are armored in authenticity and kindness. Let it guide you." With those words, they felt a flicker of warmth return to their hearts. Sarah squeezed Lily's hand, and together they took a collective breath. "We're not alone," she whispered, filling the space between them with the certainty of love. "We've come this far." James nodded, his vision sharpening. Before him, the dark forms seemed to shift, revealing faces of confusion and hurt. "Maybe they're not just shadows," he said slowly. "What if they're lost? Perhaps we're meant to help them find the light." As the realization washed over them, the trio stepped forward, their purpose shifting from mere survival to compassion. In that instant, something shifted within the shadows. They pulsed, swirling in a rhythm that flickered in and out of sight. It was as if the darkness itself breathed in uncertainty, waiting to see what the three would do next. "Let us shine for them," Lily said with unexpected courage, stepping out of the comforting embrace of her friends. "We have light to share." James and Sarah exchanged glances, a mix of awe and pride swelling in their hearts. They followed Lily's lead, instinctively forming a circle. They raised their hands, letting the warmth they felt from the fountain flow through them. "Together, let us spread the light," Sarah cried, and in that moment, a wave of brilliance emanated from them. It shimmered like the colors of the fountain, illuminating the area with a gentle yet powerful pulse. The shadows brightened, revealing sorrowful faces, longing for healing. As their light enveloped the clearing, they could see the deeper truth within each shadow. Some were wrapped in sorrow, others bound by regret. Yet they all flickered like embers, waiting for the breath of life to ignite their hope once more. "Hold on just a little longer," James called, his voice steady, wrapping warmth around their creation of light. "There's always a way back. Trust what's within." The shadows quivered in response, and for a fleeting moment, it felt as if the very heart of the earth resonated with their message. Yet, as hope began to bloom, a whirling tempest formed on the edges, swirling in, dark and chaotic. "Stay strong," the guardians urged, as the presence loomed larger. "What is that, James?" Sarah gasped, fear creeping back. He could feel it in the pit of his stomach, an instinctive dread that made his heart race. "I don't know, but we've come too far to back down now." Just as realization dawned, swirling shadows surged forward, a challenge that threatened their newfound light. Would their bonds of love and hope be strong enough to withstand what was to come? The shadows were upon them, and the true test had only just begun. As the darkness loomed closer, questions of courage and faith deepened. Would they rise above this daunting challenge? What lay behind the swirling shadows, waiting to be unveiled in the light of their courage. As the tempest of darkness crashed around them, James felt the urgency in his chest tighten. The shadows were no longer just a backdrop. They were alive, swirling with a purpose that felt as imminent as the heartbeat of the earth itself. Focus on the light, everyone, James shouted, rallying his friends. Their hands, still raised, glowed brighter, pushing back against the encroaching darkness. They stood together, feeling the warmth and love radiating through their fingertips, igniting the air like a spark in dry grass. What if we can't hold it much longer? Sarah's voice trembled, yet there was resolve beneath her worry. Then we must share it, James replied, clenched fists trembling with spirit. We will not do this alone. We are meant to stand together. And so, they began to recite words of love and light, simple phrases that turned echoes of doubt into affirmations of faith. We are love, they declared, we are hope. We choose light. Lily, caught up in the moment, closed her eyes and envisioned their light as a beacon. It's not just ours, she breathed, her voice steady despite the chaos. It belongs to everyone, it can reach them all. In that instant, golden beams shot forth from their united hands, illuminating the dark forms that surged forward. Each flicker of radiance found its mark, igniting something within the shadows. Faces contorted in pain softened slightly, revealing long-forgotten glimpses of joy. The potential for healing hovered just beneath the surface. Yet, as the shadows thrashed against this light, their own energies pulsated with desperation. James felt at their loss, their hurt, and his heart ached for them. These shadows, they're crying out, he exclaimed. They yearn for compassion. They need us. With a determined breath, he turned to Sarah and Lily. Let us show them the way. Let us reach out. Their circle tightened as they began to step forward, hands interlinked, hearts intertwined. Come closer, Sarah called, voice steady and inviting. You don't need to be alone. We're here with you. We believe in you. The shadows hesitated, swirling uncertainly. The once threatening energy now seemed to waver. For every heart that listened, a flicker of light ignited in the darkness. Suddenly, the swirling tempest surged, darkness pressing down harder. Stay together, James shouted, his voice now part command, part plea. Shield the light. We can't let despair win. But doubt crept into the edges of their minds. Were they strong enough? Could their light withstand such a powerful force? Then, as if in response to their collective faith, the guardians surged forward, adding their luminescence to the trio's. They enveloped the children in radiant energy, lifting them higher. In unity, there is strength, one guardian intoned, and the words wrapped around them like a divine embrace. Believe in what you cannot see. Another added, a gentle reminder that spiraled through the fear. In that moment of divine intervention, hope blossomed like flowers breaking through the frost, bathing the clearing in warmth and color. The shadows shrank back, shrinking like frightened deer retreating into the depths of the woods. Yet with each push, the darkness responded. The storm was relentless, clawing at their resolve, demanding surrender. James gritted his teeth, feeling each flicker of light within him pulsing in rhythm with his racing heart. We can't quit. Our light matters, it matters to them. But the swirling tempest only grew fierce, dark clouds forming a cyclone of fear. James, Sarah cried as the winds whirled threateningly around them. What if we fail? James turned, looking each of his friends straight in the eye. We won't fail if we stay true. Remember our power. As the chaos raged around them, the question lingered in the air: would the bonds of their shared love and faith hold strong against the storm? Would their light be enough to reach those lost souls? Or would the shadows consume them all? With their hearts united and their spirits ignited, they prepared to face the ultimate challenge. What awaited them at the heart of the tempest? What secrets of light and darkness would be revealed next? The tempest roared, its howling winds trying to drown out the courage that surged within Sarah, James, and Lily. The shadows twisted and turned, threatening to snuff out their light. But even as doubt gripped them, A deeper truth pulsed within their hearts, a truth born of faith, love, and an unwavering connection. "Remember why we're here," James shouted over the tumult. These words anchored them, reminding each of them of their divine mission. The shadows had their origins, rooted in the fears and sorrows of those they were meant to reach, a revelation that ignited a fierce determination. "Let us shine brighter," Lily cried, her youthful spirit sparking hope. "We're not afraid." And in that electrifying moment, they felt the power of their collective light surge through their joined hands. The energy crackled, illuminating the clearing, pushing back against the encroaching darkness. "We stand together," Sarah declared, her voice ringing with authority and conviction. "Fear cannot separate us." James, his heart racing, uttered words of truth that reverberated in the night air. "We are family. We are light. And wherever we go, we bring joy and hope with us." As they embraced those affirmations, waves of light erupted from their united circle, reaching far beyond the tumult. Each ripple of brilliance found echoes within the swirling shadows, igniting tiny sparks of understanding and connection. Faces emerged from the darkness, pale and yearning. Unbeknownst to them, these souls had been waiting for this moment, grasping at the flickers of hope unfolding around them. "Come out. You are welcome," Lily implored, her voice sweet and innocent. She took a step forward into the fray, a beacon of purity and faith. In response, the shadows hesitated, dimmed briefly by her unwavering spirit. A few figures began to emerge from the chaos, lost ones longing for healing. James could barely breathe as he witnessed the transformation. He saw their weary eyes light up with recognition, not of fear, but of possibility. "Together, we heal," Sarah urged, the warmth of her words wrapping around them like a gentle embrace. "Reach for the light, for it is within you." The shadows began to shift and flicker, moving like waves upon a restless sea. The guardians watched with anticipation, their presence sending pulsations of energy that echoed Sarah's words. Mustering every ounce of courage, James stepped forward, extending his hand. "You are not alone. We will walk this journey together." As he reached out toward a shadow that still trembled, something remarkable happened. That dark form mirrored his movements, inching closer, reaching for his warmth. With each progressive step, a glow erupted from their joining, illuminating the clearing in joyous colors. Shades of hope, healing, and unity enveloped them. "I can see," one shadow cried, their voice cracking with realization. "I can feel the light." With each new spirit who embraced their faith, the vortex of darkness diminished. The once creeping shadows lost their grip, dwindling before the ever-expanding illumination that the three had birthed through love and authenticity. "This is the moment," one guardian echoed triumphantly, his shimmering visage set against the backdrop of vivid light. "You are the embodiment of love made manifest. Keep shining." The thrumming energy of light grew stronger, overwhelming the darkness. "No more fear," they all shouted, a collective chant that resounded through the very fabric of the realm. And then, with a final cathartic surge, the shadows erupted, bursting apart like forgotten dreams. The figures who had once struggled within those clouds now stood surrounded by warmth and acceptance, bathed in a light that restored their hope and spark. James looked around, tears shimmering in his eyes. They had done it. They had not just faced the darkness. They had transformed it into an opportunity for collective healing. Each lingering shadow lost its weight, vanishing like mist beneath the rising morning sun. "Look, the light is everywhere," Lily gasped, gleefully spinning in circles as her laughter filled the air. The clearing had changed. It glimmered with vibrant blooms of colors previously unseen, a celebration of rebirth and hope. "In this light, we are all connected," Sarah shared, feeling pure gratitude pulse through her veins. "Every soul shines, each one reflecting the beauty of the divine." As the guardians resumed their watchful presence, they nodded, blessing every new soul that had emerged. "Now you must continue this journey together, sharing your light wherever the path takes you." "We will share this light," James affirmed, clasping Sarah's and Lily's hands tight. Our experience was meant to guide others, just as it guided us. With hearts set ablaze, they looked out beyond the clearing. The world awaited them, filled with souls hungry for love, unity, and healing. They knew they had become vessels of transformation, lightworkers, charged with a divine mission. "Let us go bring hope to every shadow," Lily exclaimed, her innocent ambition glowing in her eyes. Together, they made their way forward, hearts united and spirits ignited, prepared to weave their way through the world. They had discovered that light has a power unlike any other, the power to heal, unite, and transform. Their journey would never be the same again. Now, dear brothers and sisters, do not let this experience of light fade. You need to subscribe now to stay connected and not miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to nourish our community's strength and help spread the message further. Comment below with your reactions, your testimonies, and how this journey has touched your heart. And most importantly, share instantly this message with at least 5 friends who need to see this divine manifestation. Together, let us illuminate the world with love and faith. Don't wait even one more second to shine.